Story 1. In my late 30s, I want to emphasize, never allow yourself to become the work mule for any employer, taking on roles, tasks, or shifts without a corresponding increase in pay or position. This is essential for balancing work and personal life. As for fitness, I'm seeking answers as well. Story 2. I'm married with children. Both kids are in school and they play multiple sports, which I coach. I still play recreational hockey, and my wife and I both work full-time. I have to schedule my entire life, including downtime, which is very important. I go to bed at 9 p.m., I work out at 5 a.m., and I maintain a healthy diet. I have to prepare for my life as if it's a sport. I barely drink and I don't use drugs. My wife and I support each other's pursuits, including my recreational hockey, and we communicate well. It's a grind, but I love it, and that's the key. You have to remain mindful that through all the challenges, it's a joy. I am grateful. Story 3. Exercise before everyone wakes up or after they go to bed, depending on your preference. Find a good program that you can follow 3 to 4 days a week and maintain discipline. Work during business hours, refuse overtime, and budget accordingly. Schedule your personal life like it's a second job. Everything goes on the calendar and must be booked at least 2 weeks in advance. Avoid drinking, save money where possible, and find a hobby that you can easily start and stop. Family needs change, so be flexible and prepared. Story 4. I'm 49. Focusing on your professional life is beneficial when you're 35. You have the energy to devote your time to work, exercise, and family. Just avoid distractions from unreliable sources. What you experience is genuine. Outside influences can lead to challenges. The internet can be a source of negativity. Build relationships with people who appreciate the present, not those who are preoccupied with social media uncertainties. If you're in your 40s, focus on what brings you joy. Engage in activities like fishing, golfing, hiking, and backpacking. Embrace a simpler lifestyle. Don't let distractions affect your well-being. Story 5. I make sure to walk during my breaks. I have a home gym, and I am in a martial arts class with my soon-to-be team. We have been on our black belt journey together, which helps. I only have one child, so it's easier to balance everything. We also bike together. I was able to manage it all while working 40 hours per week and an additional 60 hours of overtime for months, going to school, and taking care of my child. Though the house was a mess. Story 6. I am fortunate to work from home, which allows me to take a walk on my lunch break every day. I use my treadmill for 45 minutes, 5 days a week, and that is my main fitness routine, but it keeps me active. In my personal life, I live with my fiancé and 2 cats, and since I do not have any children, I can spend my free time as I wish. Story 7. I have a calendar app on my phone that includes my shifts, physical training appointments, social events, and birthdays. I find it helpful to have a rough routine and plan for anything outside of it in advance. Last-minute plans can still occur, but if I have commitments, I have commitments. I am very aware that when I have children, this will all change, so I am enjoying this time while it lasts. I am 31. Story 8. Google Calendar and prioritizing myself first. I am 35 years old and just a few weeks ago started going to bed earlier, doing 15 minutes of stretching when I wake up, taking daily walks, going to the gym 2 to 3 times per week, intentionally eating clean, and everything that follows doesn't just feel better. It feels easier. I own my own business, and I have never felt more productive. I am shedding bad habits and only making time for people who lift me up and improve my life. The rest of my time is for me. Don't listen to those who say you can't or that you can only choose 1 or 2. It's all nonsense. You have to innovate, schedule, plan, and go out of your way to fill your own cup. Story 9. Live in a comfortable place with easy access to what or who is important in your personal life. Invest in yourself to achieve a more stable position in your professional life. Obtain simple fitness equipment for home use while watching a movie or reading. Story 10. I only work or think about work at work. My personal life consists mainly of my children and my wife. Not much else matters. I work out during my lunch break and during nap time on the weekends. I sacrifice sleep to play games and relax alone a few nights a week. Story 11. I am a father of four and have a wife. I work a decent job, earning about $60,000 a year, but the rent exceeds $2,000 a month. We rely on a single income. Managing my finances can be emotionally taxing, but we are somehow managing to stay afloat. Owning a home one day is a dream, but I feel like the government has significantly harmed the economy, affecting both my generation and the generation that follows. I work long days in a management position and go to bed early each night. I rarely drink and do not use drugs. I am a top performer in my field, but I still have to weigh the decision of increasing my credit card debt to enroll my daughters in gymnastics against the need to save money. I chose to give them the childhood they deserve, and at this moment, I am unsure how I will address the credit card debt. Story 12. For my personal life, I noted when I felt most comfortable, relaxed, and not stressed. I choose to say no to activities that cause me stress. I realize that I would rather be alone than feel miserable or be with someone I dislike or who I feel dislikes me. Fortunately, I found someone who shares my sense of humor, so we laugh together all the time. In my work life, I understand that doing something I enjoy is the most important factor because it doesn't feel much like work. While I am not very focused on fitness, I do make healthier eating choices and practice intermittent fasting, which has benefited me significantly. I look for activities that are enjoyable but can also serve as a form of exercise. I enjoy bowling and I prefer short workouts, so I find videos that feature 5-minute workout routines. Story 13. I work in the fitness industry, so my circumstances aren't entirely relatable, but I've worked with many individuals in more standard situations. The great thing about fitness is that it doesn't require much to gain significant benefits. There is a growing body of research examining the minimum effective dose needed to see results. The bigger issues plaguing most people are a lack of consistency and spending effort on activities that make little to no positive difference. Story 14. Sometimes I feel like an alien. I am a 32-year-old teacher earning good money, living with my girlfriend, doing sports twice a week, playing computer games for more than 24 hours per week, and still have time to do other activities like gardening or playing tabletop games. I also have to manage the entire school IT. I don't know why, but it still feels like I could spend even more time on my hobbies. I guess my advantages are having no children, renting instead of paying debts for a house. I've put a lot of effort into preparation for my work in the past, so now I have to do less to be well prepared. A small group of good friends. No drinking or clubbing. Family lives far away, so I use my time at home from work to have calls with them. Sharing my hobbies with my girlfriend. The 80-20 rule. Not caring about what society expects from a man my age. That's all, I guess. Story 15. I don't have many friends. I'm in a long-term relationship. I work from home as a solo administrator for a great company, and I live in a neighborhood with a gym within walking distance, so I go 4 times a week. 10 years ago, I was struggling financially, commuting every day for a job that paid very little. I was overweight and smoked cigarettes. It's a nice improvement. Story 16. I am a 48-year-old married father of 2 in the United Kingdom. I am a corporate middle manager. I can speak to the first 2 elements of balancing personal and professional life. It is simple but challenging. Unless you are contracted otherwise, work your 8 hours per day and no more. Implementing this can be difficult due to the pressure from others who say things like, "I will do that at the weekend," or "I was working late again last night." I have nearly 30 years of experience in different industries. 2 things have been constant. 1. I have never known a manager or human resources representative brave enough to reprimand someone for adhering to contracted hours. Every single manager I have had, regardless of their character, would never stop a team member from working extra hours for free. They view it as sensible business, even if it negatively impacts your health. Even the kindest manager will accept free labor for the company, regardless of the consequences for you as an employee. Always remember that you are just a cost line on a spreadsheet. The points above are what I constantly reflect on to remind myself how to protect my well-being. Regarding exercise, I have a young family, so I wake up early to exercise before they are awake. It is the only routine I have found that works. All the best from Newcastle upon Tyne, United Kingdom. Story 17. I am really neglecting my fitness and gaining weight. I need to overcome this and start a workout routine. I dislike exercising. I used to stay fit by mountain biking, wakeboarding, and dirt biking. Now, I do none of those activities, and it drives me crazy how lazy I have become. Story 18. It only became feasible when I started working from home, created a home gym, and chose not to have children. I feel very fortunate. Story 19:1. Go to the gym for an hour or, depending on your situation, a bit more or less, but make sure to show up. Family life is a priority. If that means missing a gym session due to family activities, then that is acceptable. Remember, rest days are important as well. Professional life can be challenging. There's no avoiding work. However, work does not prioritize you. Use your paid time off and sick days, and do not go above and beyond for your job. Doing so will often lead to extra work without additional pay. Keep in mind that companies maintain a budget for attracting new employees with higher salaries but do not allocate the same for existing staff. Do not stress yourself out for a company that will not provide you with 2 weeks' notice of layoffs but expects 2 weeks' notice for your replacement. Best of luck. Story 20. I became a teacher at a vocational school, so suddenly I can both drop off and pick up my child at kindergarten. We have very comfortable hours. The summer vacation has already started. I try to spend the time between work and 8 p.m. with my family. Dinner, various activities, supper, and putting all three to bed with a reading session for each of them. At 8, adult time starts. The older kids are free to read in bed, but this is the time for various projects, chores, date night, and working out. Fitness-wise, I train 3 times per week either in our garage gym, a dark, dusty, cold corner of the garage, where I have a top-notch barbell and enough weights for a lifetime, or at the school gym if it is a slow day. Now that the kids are getting older, I train during the day occasionally, as they are old enough not to go under the weights while I am lifting. Story 21. I go to work and come home at 4 or 5 p.m. Sometimes, and very rarely, I go for a jog in the morning before work. Story 22. 2 kids, 2 working parents, and night shifts make things very challenging. Family time is prioritized, but there is definitely room for improvement in diet and exercise. Story 23. Personal life. That was fun in my 20s. Professional life, you go to work and then go home. Fitness. I'm going to enjoy fitness through food. Story 24. Use your commute for fitness. Running to work, approximately 10 kilometers, allows me to accumulate significant mileage each week while missing very little family time. It also enhances my focus at work and provides a mental advantage. You will need to leave earlier, but it is worth it. Story 25. I didn't. I just got heavier like most people. I became busier and moved less while slowly eating more. It was an almost imperceptible slide. There are many factors stacked against us in modern society. Good luck. Story 26. Personal life. I meet the parents of my children's friends, and some of them are pleasant. As far as household responsibilities, my wife is a stay-at-home mom, which helps immensely. Professional life. I do the bare minimum. I never wanted to be a manager. I am quite happy in a subordinate role. This makes it easier to have a negative attitude and not put in my best effort most of the time. Fitness. Since I do not hold a managerial position, my physical job means I do not need to go to the gym. Story 27. Personal life, professional life, kids, drinking, and playing Xbox. What is fitness? Fitting this pizza in my mouth. Oh, I'm dead. But it was fun. Story 28. I am 52 years old, but it's hard to quantify. You have to make sacrifices somewhere. I work a lot, have 3 children at home, and I work out regularly. I put in a lot of effort up front to make my work more efficient. I work hard but strive to work efficiently so I can get home. I would work more for additional income, but I'm not willing to sacrifice family time. I make a point to find time to work out. I have a decent home gym that I have built up over the years to keep my workouts efficient. Each day is different. It may be in the early morning or the evening while the kids are occupied. I always make time on the weekend when there is more opportunity to fit it in, aiming for 5 workouts a week. If I had more time, I would exercise more because it is one of the key aspects of life. I simply ensure there is plenty of family time because nothing is worth giving that up. They will all leave home one day, and I will miss having them around tremendously, at which point I may have more time on my hands than I desire. Story 29 1. Have a child. Wait 18 years until they leave. Discover you have plenty of time for work, exercise, fun, and your relationship. Story 30. I don't think my fitness has improved in the last decade. I try to remain somewhat active and eat and drink responsibly, but that's about it. I don't have a regular workout routine. Family obligations and work require a lot of energy. Story 31. People who say they don't have time to balance everything are not being honest. Check your screen time on your phone and then tell me you don't have time for it. Be realistic about your priorities and stop making excuses. Story 32. Step 1. Severely limit screen time of all kinds. Step 2. Have much more free time. Between dropping off and picking up the children, commuting and working, I am out of the house for 10 hours a day. I spend the evening with my wife and children, complete daily chores such as tidying up, washing dishes, and doing laundry until the kids go to bed at 8 p.m. I work out from 8 to 9 p.m. I have wind down time, usually spent watching something with my wife or reading, from 9 to 10 p.m., and I am back up at 7 a.m. Unless individuals have 2 to 3 hour commutes, everyone has enough time to get everything done, but many will find excuses not to. Story 33. You make time. No excuses. Almost everyone has the ability. They just choose not to. For example, your phone tells you how much screen time you have every day. Guaranteed, for most, it's several hours. Start there. Story 34. Either before work or after, go to the gym. Have a plan when you go. Find a free program online and follow it, or do your research and hire someone for online coaching, depending on your budget. Online coaching is not as expensive as you might think. Then, go to work, and when you're home, spend time with your family. It's not complicated. The goal is to stop making excuses about your fitness and to avoid neglecting your health. Also, stop eating fast food. Balance your diet. Story 35. I built a simple gym in the basement, including an Olympic bar, a squat rack with a bench and dumbbells, and I also run outside. I don't have the excuse or time constraint of traveling to the gym. It's always right there. Story 36. I am a mental mess all the time. I suspect it will remain this way until I die. As we all know, we will never get to retire. Story 37. 10 to 15 minutes of working out at home is easy. People make it seem harder than it is. Your health should matter more to many people who make excuses. Story 38. I am 34 years old. I have a live-in boyfriend who loves me, and I love him in equal measure. I somehow managed to land my dream job through determination, and I appreciate the free 24-hour gym provided by my apartment. I am doing well. Story 39. I am a man in my mid-30s and recently welcomed my second child. Before this, I discovered an effective workout regimen that takes only 20 to 30 minutes each morning, which has helped me build a considerable amount of muscle. After my workout, I quickly shower, get dressed, and head to the office for a 10 to 11-hour day. On my train ride home, I either relax, nap, or catch up on emails. Once I reach home, I have dinner with my family, spend about 30 minutes playing with the kids, and then we go through their nighttime routine. Before I go to sleep, I prepare my meals for the next day. I've established this routine efficiently, but I feel I lack a social or personal outlet. I'm seeking suggestions from others on this topic as well. Story 40. I built a gym in my basement, so I have no excuses to not stay fit. I also work remotely as an engineer and developer with no overtime. I completely disconnect when I'm done with work, which helps maintain my mental health. My personal life revolves around my wife and daughter, and we try to see our friends and family once a week. Story 41. On fitness, I think calisthenics is the easiest way to quickly incorporate physical activity into your day. It takes just a few minutes, and it is more important to do smaller workouts consistently than larger workouts occasionally. I believe that the burpee and pull-up combination provides the best overall benefits because it combines full body strength training with cardio. Perform sets in the morning or any time throughout the day when you have a few minutes to spare. Do as many as you can, then the next day try to do one more and one more the day after that. The hardest part is making the commitment to be consistent when you start for the first time. If you maintain this practice for 2 weeks, it will begin to feel like any other part of your day. Story 42. Your work is not who you are. What works for me may not work for you, but what I do is dedicate Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights to the gym, setting aside 2 hours for exercise. I work Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning to 5 in the evening, and I don't check email or do any work after that. I always make time for family around cooking, cleaning, shopping, and other activities. It's important to go easy on social media and focus on family, friends, and health. Small changes over time can make a big difference, such as eating whole foods and less junk food, and drinking water instead of soda and alcohol. Story 43. I work from home and manage to go out for a run, warm up, cool down, and clean during working hours. I tend to work into the night to make up for it, unless I have personal matters to attend to. The unfortunate part is that I don't get enough sleep. Story 44. Stop making excuses and plan accordingly. You might consider reducing gaming or other distractions, but ultimately take action. Story 45. I have a job that I love and enjoy, and it pays quite well. A major part of my career was finding a position where I could apply my skills and knowledge effectively. I am very grateful to have found that in my current job. I have 2 children, ages 9 and 3. They are growing up, and I spend time with them whenever I can. I participate in their lives as much as possible, including taking them to and from school, bringing them meals, and helping them with baths. I am still trying to maintain balance with my wife, but it is not easy. We try to find time for dates, but it is truly difficult. I have fixed 3 days a week for gym classes, and I make no excuses to skip them unless I have a client meeting. To be honest, I am very grateful to have such a well-balanced life. I sincerely wish for this to continue. Story 46. Const wake-up time equals kids wake-up time. Exercise duration, 600. / 10 minutes to get ready. Const sleep duration is equal to 8 times 60 times 60. / older individuals may need less sleep. Const work duration is equal to 9 times 60 times 60. / duration depends on location. Const professional aspirations equals input on a scale from 0 to 1, where 0 means no interest and 1 means a strong desire to become president. How much do you care about your job? Let me time is equal to 24 times 60 times 60. Sleep duration, exercise duration, work duration asterisk, 1 plus professional aspirations. Print, limit time spent on optional activities to plus me time plus seconds a day. / if the result is negative, you can subtract it from sleep duration to live more intensely, but for a shorter period. Story 47. Since I entered my 30s, I have been working a regular job and stopped doing shifts in jobs like bartending. I do not live too far from work, so I get home between 5:10 p.m. and 6:15 p.m. I work out 5 times a week, alternating between cycling for an hour and running 10 kilometers. I do not work out in gyms and typically exercise for an hour each day unless I feel like doing a longer distance run. The only decision to make is whether to exercise before or after dinner, allowing time for dinner to settle for 2 hours. I plan this from Monday to Friday, leaving weekends free for my social life. Just a tip, of course. Story 48. In my late 30s, I am fortunate to work in an industry that shuts down after 5 p.m., allowing me to schedule my days effectively. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my gym days, and I go straight after work. Tuesdays and Thursdays are reserved for cooking and cleaning. I always leave weekends free for time with my wife. This routine has worked for me for years, and it certainly helps that we don't have children. Story 49. Early in the morning, I dedicated time for exercise. No one made demands of me from 5 to 7 a.m., This also became my time to socialize with other runners. By the time most people were waking up, I would have run for an hour and a half and enjoyed the company of friends. Then I worked during the day, and the evenings were devoted to family life. Story 50. A 47-year-old male, married with 2 young children, is drinking wine and watching Gilligan's Island at 2 a.m. I'm sorry, what was the question again? Story 51. I go to the gym 3 times a week for about 1 to 1.5 hours each time in the evenings around 8 to 9 p.m., mostly on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I work during the week, and the weekend is for relaxing. Sometimes it is a bit of a race to get to the gym in time, but most of the time I manage just fine. We cook fresh meals every day, with me doing most of the cooking. Story 52. People say not to have kids, but I disagree. My personal life revolves around my children and my fitness. I encourage you to step up, be a coach, and get out there to have fun. Story 53. I do not have children. I only work 40 hours a week. Fitness is important to me, so I make time for the gym. If something is important to you, you will find the time. If not, you will just make excuses. Story 54. By not working full-time, going to bed on time except for special occasions, and eating healthily, when something is added, something else needs to be removed to maintain balance. Story 55. I am in my early 30s, earning a double income and currently without children, but I do have a dog. I work remotely, which helps free up commuting time. I can fit in a workout during downtime at work, or my dog encourages me to get outside because she is very energetic. I strive to find a professional balance where people recognize me as a hard worker without labeling me as a workaholic. I work about 45 hours per week and never exceed 60 hours. I do not plan to pursue a management position because it seems to require significant sacrifices in personal life and well-being. A lot of my time is currently spent on video games, but I expect that to shift more towards family activities in the future. Story 56. You make the time, and by that I mean you schedule things you want to do. If you wait for a free time slot to do something, you'll never do it because free time slots don't exist. There's always something that will fill them. You schedule and prioritize. Story 57. It's literally a pick 2. You might be able to handle all 3, but it's something a large majority cannot do. Story 58. Public sector IT job, home by 4 p.m. Plenty of time with the kids until they go to bed. I walk my dog for 2 miles in the evening, which takes about 35 minutes, and have encouraged the office to participate in fitness activities during lunch, such as a 100 push-ups challenge. Story 59. I am 35 years old with a 7-year-old son and a daughter arriving in 2 months. I started school late and am now in my final year. I work full-time while searching for an internship. To have some fun, I play on a co-ed softball team once a week and have also started going to the gym. The most important aspect for me is creating a schedule and sticking to it. I have designated times for softball, homework, the gym, and video games. Everything else consists of kids and family responsibilities. Before establishing a schedule, my life felt overwhelmingly chaotic. Story 60. Not that great. I have been overweight since I was 10. Experiencing a cycle of weight loss throughout my life. I have pursued jobs that I dreamed of, but they have never paid well. I am single with no children, and I have never wanted kids. While I have not desired to be single for so long, it does have its benefits. I would say I am somewhat 50-50 on life. Story 61. I have a professional life. I like to work in my shed in my spare time, and my spouse hasn't found a job in 3 years. I don't know if anything is in balance. I have a fondness for substances. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.